Hey everyone, how are y'all doing? I got up a little early today so that I could make the video and let it upload, and then it won't. I'm up early enough so I can talk a little bit. Um, I might be up too early to be talking, but that's what the coffee is for. Final Community, our primary focus is music and collecting records. So I'll start with that, and whatever happens next is how it goes. So, yeah, I said I needed to not buy any records this weekend. Part of the pragmatic part of me says, yeah, you shouldn't buy any records, but I did. I bought 3 new records yesterday, and it doesn't matter if I justify it or not. I bought them, and I have them now, and everything is just fine. Um, I did. It was through the BC that I broke down and bought some records yesterday. Um, so what did I do? It was Conrad, DV dude. Conrad, I love you, man. I love you. He was talking about the new Animal Collective, and um, it's not so much that I was on the fence about it. I know that I have come around to what Animal Collective does, and I think it's pretty pure, actually. And after listening to Conrad talk about music, now this is what I want to say, folks. Conrad can be real funny and get really off talking about gayness. But what I've noticed is when Conrad talks about music, he really listens. And even though our tastes may be slightly different, what I notice about Conrad's comments about music, they're very on point. It's like he's really listening. You know what I'm saying? And so when he raved about the new Animal Collective, I said, oh, okay, I did it. I'm going to start again. What's going on here? Did you see that? Maybe I won't. Okay. So I bought the 180 gram deluxe version. It's black vinyl, about 180 gram. Comes with a, I forgot to get the apple cider vinegar. Thank you. Someone suggested that for this, and I'm going to do it. No Tums. Thank you, Joel. I listen, people. Anyway, I played one of the albums already all the way through. What I've really liked is the live DVD. The extra comes with a live DVD. And their stage setup is incredible. But also the way that they make this music come to life, and how much joy they get out of it is infectious. So yeah, I haven't even opened this. You heard that crack, didn't you? Love that though. Also, as a person that makes records, I appreciate how you have to have a little bit of clout to do this. That is not cheap to make the record with that foil type of this, whatever, I guess you call it foil. Smashing Pumpkins, their reissue of one of their albums, Siamese Dream, It Is Like This. This is really psychedelic. And there is a childlike quality to the music that I've come to really like. I like this a lot. I bought the new Deerhoof. I listened to it all the way through online before I bought it last week. Love this band. Breakup song. Intriguing cover. It's just like, what is that, a garbage truck, or is that like a semi with its lights doing its thing? But it's fascinating. It's really psychedelic. Isn't that interesting how just the way a view of something creates the picture? It's just a truck sitting on the street, but the way that it was seen by the person who took the picture, that's psychedelic as hell. This is fantastic. I'm really impressed with Deerhoof, how they just crank this shit out. They're very creative. And they have a sound, but they don't repeat themselves at all. And I think that Greg Saunier, the drummer and principal songwriter, I'm thinking the man is a genius. I mean, literally, I think he's probably got a genius IQ. And this is the way that he's, rather than become a rocket scientist or some kind of, he made music. But I think the man is a genius. That album is fantastic. I bought one other album. I was looking. I wanted to get Flying Lotus. I want to get Flying Lotus. I want to get into it, okay? They didn't have it. I almost bought a Bjork album that I've been wanting, Medulla. But I spotted this, and I'm glad I bought this instead. The new Bill Fay, Life is People. This is really something. Welcome back, Bill. This is what speaks to my soul, is an album like this. It's tender, it's heartfelt, it's very human. It's all about the expression, and it's just beautiful. Just touches me. This is awesome. It shows why the people who were touched by his music that have made his old album so collectible, why that is. Because this is soul music. And I'm going to return to that before I'm done with this video, this idea of soul music. Soul music is not a stereotype like it is in the world. So those are the records that I bought. When it comes to the BC, Brett has a thread that contest going about last songs, and I've made a list of a couple albums, and I intend to respond before too much longer, maybe today. But what else is on my mind? Well, what else is on my mind is always what's on my mind, which is you know, life, you know, what's going on with me, what's going on around me. And the way that music fits into that. And good music, or rather music that suits me, makes life worth living. There's just so much crap. There's so much about life that's a struggle and a challenge and murky, that music is something that it's a place I can go that, yeah, I can exist here, okay? Let's see. Many thoughts on my mind. I'll show a few more records, what I've been playing. Yesterday was it John Cage's 100th birthday or something, had he been alive? Anders from Stockholm had mentioned that on Facebook, so I pulled this, Nova Musica #1. And this is a reissue on Get Back. Originally came out on the Cramps label out of Italy. And John Cage is very important to my life and musical philosophy. He opened doors for Western culture completely. John Cage, if I need validation of what I do, if someone has to give it to me, John Cage does. I do sound work. I make sound collages that are not beat-oriented. Seems like a lot of electronic music people need something to hang on to, like a beat. And that's not my focus at all. The electronic and the sampling collage work that I do with sound is about seeing what shape emerges from the parts that I put together. It's about allowing a new picture, a new sound picture to emerge from the elements as they're brought together. It's not about giving you a guide with a beat or anything. And that I can directly trace back to the influence of John Cage. And this work that I do is very valid. It's for a very small audience, because one thing I don't understand is when people hear some of my work and they say it's scary. I don't know what they're talking about, because I don't hear that at all. You know, to me, it's a reflection of the mindset or what's going on inside of them. Why is the unknown scary? It's not scary to me. So I played that last night. I pulled this and played all of side 1, Jeff Beck emotion and commotion. Yeah, you're going to hear me bitch about the blues. Can't stand side 2. Cannot stand Joss Stone's I Put a Spell on You, whatever the fuck. Oh, that's on side 1 too. I always take it off when it gets to that. Please. That music is so fucking dead. That's my opinion. If it piss you off, just too fucking bad. And if you want to come back at me like that, I guess I'm going to take it, you know, but I don't mean it personally to you. That's what you got to understand. The blues is just really fucked life up for a whole lot of people. Me, one of them. So you can always hear about it. I get to do that because it's my channel. Yeah, it's an issue. It really is. It really is. Several things on my mind. Let me see if I can get a few of them out before I get off. One is family. Family is so important, of course. I love my family. I have always loved them, but I have not always appreciated them the way I appreciate them now. Does that mean that I want them around me all the time now? All of a sudden, no. They can still go away. I still like my space, but this last couple days over the Labor Day holiday, my nephew Kareem stayed with me overnight before he moved back to California, and so my brother Patrick came around a little bit, and we spent the better part of 2.5 days together. It was cathartic because I was having difficulty communicating with my brother Patrick since he's come back to Omaha. And my nephew Kareem really helped it a lot. He helped me to have an emotional catharsis where I needed to express my worry, concern, and love for my brother Patrick. It was really rather explosive. So explosive that when it came out, you know, I burst out into tears and said what I had to say very emotionally, and my nose just erupted in this huge nosebleed. You know what I'm saying? So it was really cathartic. And what I wanted to say to my brother is that, man, you know, one of the problems I have with a lot of archetypes that people look up to, especially black ones and male ones, is that it's about false pride. Well, let me just get to the point where I was just sharing with my brother that, you know, your insistence on trying to be like an old player with this false pride shit that's keeping you from doing things that you really need to do to help yourself. I'm not having it. I'm not accepting it, and I'm not feeding it, and I'm not listening to it. And I'm not going to take care of you when your ass hits the pavement because of this false pride. Finally got it out in a way that was heard. I have no control over what he does. I just wanted to be understood that, you know, our communication problem is because I'm attacking you or criticizing you. It's out of concern for what I see, you know, and I'm the first to admit that we're all like this. You know, we see what's wrong with you while we got this big block in our own eye. Of course, I'm always trying to see the one in mine. You know what I'm saying? It gives me grace, you know, to know that I'm no better than anybody else. And just like I can point the finger at you and say, yeah, your shit is fucked up. Well, mine is too. Mine is very fucked up. Yes, it is. I know it. So who needs false pride, okay? But one of the other cool things that came out of it was we came in here on the computer and started going through family pictures together, and then we got on Facebook together, and we're looking at my nephew Kareem's children. He's got 6, and I haven't met any of them yet, and I really want to change that. But it just unlocked all these memories for me, my brother, even Kareem. And a cool memory that I had forgotten because my memory was different from my brother Patrick's was Rasan Roland Kirk had dinner with us at our house when I was probably about 11 or 12 when this happened. Rasan Roland Kirk. Now, this is what I remember. See, life is weird. I just remember this huge black man who was just crazy. He was blind, but the main thing I knew about him was he was crazy. Okay, as a boy, he scared the fuck out of me. You know what I'm saying? And my brother Patrick brought it back to me because Roland Kirk was so scary, we wouldn't even come down into the living room. We sat up on the stairs looking at him, you know. And he brought in some of his instruments, and he was trying to show my dad how to blow 2 and 3 saxes at one time. I remember now, the man scared the fuck out of me. But that was cool. It was like Rasan Roland Kirk in our raggedy ass house, trying to show my dad how to blow more than one instrument. And all I could see was this big, crazy, like, black elephant. That was neat. My brother Patrick also brought back another memory that I don't remember Sonny Stitt. I remember this napkin. Now, Patrick tells me, Stephanie, that you still have this napkin. But the story is that Sonny Stitt, who was friends with my dad, was in town playing or something, and we had him over for dinner. And we had him over for my grandmother's spaghetti, and she could make some amazing spaghetti. I don't know what she did. She put her big toe in it or some kind of shit, but it was amazing. And it was. And Sonny Stitt was blown away. And the memento that supposedly you have, Stephanie, is the napkin that he autographed that was stained with the spaghetti sauce. And the story is that that's how he didn't want to sign a record for my dad. He wanted to sign the napkin, and there's a comment about the spaghetti on it, and it's signed Sonny Stitt. Do you have it, Stephanie? Patrick says, if anyone still has that, you would be the one that would have that heirloom. That was cool. So that was neat. That was neat. Something else that, just a minor, it's not even an incident. It was a comment on Facebook vinyl community that I want to respond to. And the comment was that, you know, a member of the vinyl community has tried and tried and tried to listen to Genesis, and they don't get it because there is no soul. I need to inform you folks that soul is not just grits and gravy and the blues and gospel. That is a deep vein of life experience that informs that form of what we call soul music. But that's not the only soul music. And man, I could write theses and papers and travel this world lecturing on this, because what I'm saying is correct. And I'm going to put my foot down about this. And that's why I'm pissed off about stereotypes. I get a lot of soul out of Genesis music. Not in the same way as beating your feet on the muddy river type of soul. That's a type of soul. The kind of soul I get from Genesis is similar to the kind of soul I get from free jazz and other forms of music. It's what I call cosmic soul, and it's very real. You don't have to strain your voice. You don't have to sweat or show me your tears for me to catch that soul. It's when your music or your expression just momentarily or even just for seconds grasps the elusive talisman of expressing the unexpressible. I catch it myself in all kinds of music. You can't tell me that's not soul. Matter of fact, I want to kind of get in y'all's ass that, again, that it's like, open your gate up a little bit more so you can receive this stuff. I kind of think that it's like the analogy that you take a poor person off the street and you give him a mansion, and all he knows is the street. Chances are he'll just move in, go into the basement, and be happy there, because it's similar to what he's known, unaware that he has all these other floors of grandeur waiting for him. That's the way I see a lot of popular music. That, of course, it's important to know your roots, so we know them. But I think a lot of people are stuck there, and you can't see the forest for the trees. That you have to have these obvious sign markers in the road so you know where you're at. Ah! Oh, it's soul. Oh, ah! Oh, I feel that, you know. Well, if you knew how to open your gate up a little bit more, and maybe somebody did like this, Maybe you could feel the soul of that too. Now, I know what I'm talking about because I feel it. I'm crazy, but I ain't crazy. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? So it's these experiences that I have personally, coupled with the continued institutional racism that continues to be here, that informs my anger and my point of view, and why I just don't really have time for a lot of what I consider common music. And that includes a lot of rock music too. You know, some of it is like, man, I've heard it 100 million times, don't ever need to hear it again. So that's my treatise on soul. Soul is not a stereotype. Open your mind and your heart and your chakras, and you will hear the soul of Japanese music, the soul of the Mexican music, the soul of everything. Open your motherfucking gates up. I do have a bit of contempt for that attitude, because it's narrow and it's unwise, in my opinion. And yeah, I do want to get up in y'all's ass. If this is upsetting you, good. Learn something, bitches. I have. What's the other thing I wanted to say? I had something else I wanted to say. Soul, stereotypes. I had something else. Last thing I want to say is, you know, I do want to propagate my opinion. I do want to tell you my opinion. But I do want to remind you that it's just my opinion. Just like when someone says something that I don't particularly agree with, I work hard to know better than to take it personally and give you the freedom to have your opinion. Try to do that with me, people, okay? Here's the last thing I think I'll share. Some of you who watch my videos regularly know that last weekend I had a funny thing happen when I was practicing with Nick Fackler. I had the police come to my house looking for some runaway or some young white male who was on the lam, and I don't know who. Someone told the police specifically that they could find this person at my house. So at first I was going to leave it alone, but then I decided to go. I went to the police yesterday looking to get a police report about it. Well, two things happened. One, I just found out that since they didn't find anything, there was no police report made. Okay, so I don't get to find out who sent in the report. I suppose if I wanted to pursue it, I could, but I don't want to pursue it because I honestly, ultimately don't care. I really don't. What I'm saying is my conscience is clear about how I'm living. If you want to go way back in my past and dig up some dirt, you can, but you have to go a long way back, okay? And that's all I can figure is that if someone is trying to make trouble for me, if it's old karma that I need to work off, I'm looking at my book, and it's pretty old, okay? I've been pretty clear about how I treat people and what I do. So it's either that, an old drug-related beef, or somebody's fucking nuts that I know. And I do know one person who I've banned from my life permanently because of just bullshit, you know, continually bullshit. And it could be him. It could be another person. I don't know. But anyway, and the other thing that this is that institutional racism. I'm not imagining this. I hardly get up to the window to do my business, and the policeman behind, just the way they said, "May I help you?" and the way they looked at me, you know, I'm not human to them. And that's fucked up. And it's just that way. And it's not, I'm not imagining it, people. You know, you folks that don't know what it's like, just forget it. You don't know what it's like. So don't try to dispute this. You don't know, okay? You don't know what it's like to walk into a store and look at a clerk or look at a couple clerks and this look. That look I got from the policeman, and then the way that they spoke to me, you know, and the way the police speak to you. I know they have to do their job, but it's frightening to have them talk to you as though you are convicted, you're lying, and you're guilty. That's how you're spoken to. It's all in the body language and everything, that's the tone and everything, and it's frightening. And it feels like institutional racism to me. and it sucks. And that's what I dealt with I came to them. You know what I'm saying? And I got that. And it's like, it's frightening. It's fucking frightening. Let's have a dialogue, folks. You know, I know I'm sure that some people will kind of dig what I said, and others are you're probably pulling your hair out, you know. But this is my experience, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. If you can't understand that what I say that you disagree with comes from my experience, I keep trying to tell you, you know, come on, you know. I'm not talking about you. Your experience is different from mine. I'm trying to share mine, okay? I'm trying to share it because I think it's got something valid that the world can learn from. Like I'm always trying to learn, okay? We're up to 25, 26 minutes. Fuck. I'm glad it's early. So this thing will take half the morning to download. Then I can get on here and get to business, see if I sold any records. Hoping that the Indreama should be arriving probably next week. I'm hoping maybe I hear something today about a tracking number. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get all that going. You know what I'm saying? The other things I've been working on besides mixtapes and tinkering at new music is been trying to find a way to get Indreama on tour. And it's a big balancing act because Nick is involved with Icky Blossoms. And Icky Blossoms is busy. They go out on tour today with, I forget. I don't even, Raptor or something like that. Then they come back, and long enough for us to do the album release show. We got that much together. We have our album release show for Indreama. It's going to be Indreama and Icky Blossoms and one other band in October 27th. So we got that together. But then Icky Blossoms goes back out on the road with The Faint. Now, what we had been trying to do is we had been trying to get Icky on one of those tours. It hasn't worked out. So, am I frustrated with that? Only slightly, because I can take it or leave it, in all honesty. I mean, I really like making records. I like the romance of being on records, making them, and all of that. You know, going on the road is hard work. I like a part of it, but a big part of touring is really hard. So, and touring in the winter is real hard. So if we don't end up touring in the winter, it's good and bad. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of what we're trying to do. Just trying to make the business come together, you know? So, leave me comments. Please try to understand. I'm just talking about my experience. Try not to take it personally. I mean, if it upsets you, examine what you're upset about. Ask yourself, what am I really angry about? Because you're probably not angry because I said something you don't like. Find out what it is you're angry about.